This might be surprising to hear, but I'm black. And it seems that because I'm black, a few new people have taken an interest in my story.
Who are you people?
Considering that I'm black and that I'm also male, I guess you could say I've been playing this VTuber thing on hardcore mode. However, since it's been a year since I first turned black, not a sentence I ever thought I'd say in my life, let's cover a few of the experiences that I've had and really see, is it as hard as people say? First and foremost, and I mentioned this on the old video that I did, the best part about this, of course, is that generally speaking, I am more comfortable with what I'm doing. More comfortable streaming. I'm more comfortable doing hand cam streams, which I've done lately, as well as just like sharing more things about like what I'm doing and stuff like that. That's the part that hasn't been a huge downside, because with my old model, I felt like I couldn't actually share a whole lot about what I was doing. And it kind of put a wall between me and my viewers, which kind of sucked, I'm not gonna lie. Of course, this part is kind of expected. I feel like everybody expected me to bring this up at some point. It is great to not have to censor myself on stream. I will admit, I do have a few words that aren't ideal to have as part of your vocabulary as a creator, especially if people don't know that you are black. So me saying nigga or like Negro or literally anything of the sort. Yeah, it's nice to be able to do that without getting questioned. Of course, this is slowly going to get worse as it goes on, but this is one of the biggest points that I think I've seen a few creators have problems with, and that's being related to food. I've gotten these comments myself. Honestly, I don't really have a crazy problem with that, but I will say this. It does come off as kind of fetishy, and personally, and this is something I've never addressed, I don't care for all of the sexualization, mostly because I'm not really putting myself out there like that. So yeah, I mean, the whole comparing to food thing itself, I'm not really like too big on. I'm not a fan of it, but I don't hate it, and that's just me. You're not gonna hear me be like, ah, shut the fuck up. Like, it's just gonna be like, it's kind of weird, and I'm just not gonna address it. Game mode hard. So this one actually, this used to bother me the most. This used to make me so mad. So when I had first changed my model, that was probably one of the biggest things, and still is probably one of the biggest things that I've had to deal with. So a lot of people were cracking certain jokes. They were saying things like, oh, he's a reverse Michael Jackson, or bro just really just switched difficulties, or he switched teams and stuff like that. To a certain degree, on like the switching difficulties part, that was not false. That was not false by like any means. Ultimately, I mean, it is a joke, and it was kind of funny sometimes, and now I kind of look back at it and I just kind of laugh. But it was one of those things where it just made me so mad, because I was like, this is not something that really affects what I'm doing. I'm sure it does affect people's like perception of me, but to the same, like, you know, counter argument right here is just, I didn't change what I was doing. I was still putting out these stupid ass videos. I was still doing like these dumb things. I was still streaming and all that. But a lot of people were treating it as if it was something different. And on top of that, like I said earlier, they weren't lying. I was literally losing like 100 followers every time I was posting the TikTok over something that honestly shouldn't have been a big deal. And on it does paint into like the actual truth of a lot of people don't want to see like a black VTuber, which doesn't make sense to me. When it came down to being a male VTuber, that wasn't a problem, right? I built up nearly 100,000 followers on TikTok with like no problem. I built up like, you know, several thousand subscribers on YouTube, several thousand followers on Twitch, no problem. But the second I changed my model to match like my skin tone so that I can be a little bit more free in the content that I was doing, I literally opened up pathways for me to do a bunch of different content. I was suddenly able to do all sorts of like eating challenges, like food challenges, all sorts of like just things where I would use a webcam as part of it because I had matched the model. Like, imagine the disconnect of having the fucking white model and my arms there. Like, it wouldn't work. It wouldn't work. And I don't see how the people who, you know, would claim to be my supporters or my fans could simply just kind of do that. Like, just be like, oh, this guy is fucking, he changed his model? What the fuck? And then they just leave. So, the game mode hard thing, um, it's true. That part is true. And in terms of my experience with like being black, that's the only part that I would say has been the worst. Is like how I've lost support over something that I have no control over, really. And it's kind of stupid. It's just really, and no, it's really stupid. It's not kind of stupid. It's just really stupid. The last part, honestly, this has to do with just being a male VTuber, and it's something that I've had to deal with since the start, I guess. And that's like the wariness about like being around males in this space. If you're unaware, VTubing is mostly like female dominated. That being said, I mean, there is good reason nowadays, I would say, for like a lot of the wariness. The amount of times that I've just seen random, like, especially in 2021, I want to say, the amount of times that I had just seen like random ass drama, but it was just involving some male VTuber either being a piece of shit or being a creep. It was frequent. It was honestly way too much, way more than it should have been. And first of all, this is a whole other subject, but I think a lot of male VTubers should avoid being lewd tubers. It's been almost like synonymous. Like a majority of the ones that I've seen are just here on some horny shit, and it's stupid as fuck. What happened to like making the videos, making videos and like streaming and making like TikToks and like I rarely see it. And it makes me sad because there's a lot of guys that aren't here for the content. They kind of just ruin the shit for everybody else, and it makes it hard for me to like get people involved in like big pieces of work or like collabs or like even just to reply to my goddamn tweets. Like it's just it's become a hassle. But admittedly, I think we're moving towards like a better space with this. I think slowly things are starting to shape up more in the way that makes sense. So I think we'll get there eventually. Don't even get me started though on talking about like fucking groups and orgs and shit and fucking corporate shit. They don't want me. But anyway, that's been kind of like some of the experiences that I've had as black male VTuber, or like that sums up a lot of the experience. Some of this shit's been hard, but generally speaking, it hasn't been like too hard.